This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. We're getting a first-hand look at the progress being made in the heart of East Oakland after a major investment from the community. The Black Cultural Zone is working to bring a new entertainment district along with affordable housing and businesses to an area known as the 40 by 40 neighborhood, which runs from Seminary Avenue to the San Leandro border and MacArthur Boulevard to the Bay. So a few months ago, we told you about the $100 million worth of donations powering this project. Our Suji Nam spent the day in East Oakland to see the start of the transformation.
So right now we're headed to the headquarters of Ruth's Community Health. They're one of our 40 by 40 partners.
It's a walk down memory lane for Ari Curry.
This is a set of 3 buildings that we recently acquired.
He's taking a stroll through the East Oakland neighborhood he grew up in.
For me, this is very personal. East Oakland is part of who I am, and I've been really fortunate.
Working with the Black Cultural Zone, he is a part of a greater revitalization initiative known as the Rise East 40 by 40 project.
That runs from the foothills, kind of like where the MacArthur Freeway is, down to the water, and then from about 70th to the San Leandro border. That encompasses the 40 by 40.
Community vote on different layouts. So
the nonprofit raised $100 million to invest in resources like healthcare and workforce development, along with projects like the Food Market Hall and more than 100 affordable housing units along 73rd Avenue.
So what do you want to see? Lots of murals, lots of grass.
CJ Johnson, the CEO of Black Cultural Zone, says most of the residents in this neighborhood are African American and have faced inequities for decades.
Forced to live here as things were disinvested, and so you see the lack of access to good retail, to good food, to good education, to parks, to safety. That's been going on for a long time. Also, this was a real center for foreclosures.
And Johnson looks forward to revitalizing the vacant storefronts near Liberation Park, riddled with graffiti, into safe spaces for the community.
Displacement pushes us out even further, which breaks up homes and communities. You need auntie around the corner to take care of the little kid while you go grab some food from the store. That's how I grew up. And so the goal really is to bring that back.
Watch your step, watch your step.
And that is a vision for Curry as well. Walking through a former karate dojo, soon to be revamped into an entertainment space. From an empty building to a place of hope.
Well, as you can see, it's still very much a work in progress, but if all goes well, the goal of the project is to be complete within the next 5 years.
Thank you, Suji. The CEO of Black Cultural Zone says because of the funding they have raised, they are able to acquire these properties without mortgages. They plan to pass on these savings onto bigger projects like an ice rink and a community garden. Oakland police, they released new details today about an operation targeting members of 2 Sereno street gangs. They say these gangs are connected to 34 homicides in the Bay Area, including 24 in Oakland. It all stems from an investigation that started in 2016. OPD says it teamed up with the FBI and Alameda County Sheriff's Department to serve search warrants at 8 locations in Oakland, including an early morning raid on Coloma Street in the lower Diamond District. Search warrants were also served in Modesto and Stockton. 10 alleged gang members are now in custody. 9 face federal charges in connection with 2 murders in 2019, as well as attempted murders and drug and firearms trafficking. OPD says these gangs are highly active in committing crimes in the city.
They have greatly contributed to the violence within our community, specifically here in the city of Oakland. We have seen a reduction of shootings to include murders related to this group.
Police say 2 suspects are still on the loose. Mayor Barbara Lee says the operation represents the shared determination to break cycles of violence. On to Livermore, where police are searching for suspects in a brazen smash and grab burglary at a gun store. So officers say the thieves actually rammed a car through the glass storefront of East Bay Firearm Saturday morning. It's all caught on surveillance video. So at the top right of the screen, you can see the front door shattered and its metal gate mangled while suspects run in and out of the store. Another angle shows the suspects dashing throughout the store, grabbing guns and other items off shelves. while security alarms blared. One of the owners told us he is worried about the harm the stolen firearms could cause to the community.
We've done everything we can to solidify our hard security here, to once again make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again. The gravity of what happens when stolen weapons get out into the community is doesn't escape me or my brother, who's my partner here.
Livermore police say they aren't releasing a lot of details because they do not want to compromise this case. So we're just a few days out now from the statewide special election that could affect the balance of power in Congress. And the big race, of course, involves Prop 50, which would let state lawmakers draw new congressional maps in a way that favors Democrats. So a new poll from the Public Policy Institute of California found that a majority of likely voters, 56%, say they would vote yes on Prop 50, 43% said they would vote no, only 1% undecided. So Prop 50 is significantly more popular here in the Bay Area, where 69% of likely voters, more than 2/3, said they would vote yes. And of course, we'll be tracking the special election results live on November 4th after the polls close from 8 to 10 p.m. on PIX Plus and at 11 right here on KPIX. You can also stream us live on the free CBS News app and at kpix.com. The Catholic Diocese of Oakland has until November 12th to reach a settlement with sexual abuse survivors. If no settlement is reached, a federal judge will dismiss the diocese bankruptcy case. That means hundreds of lawsuits could go to trial. In August, the diocese said it was going to have to start selling real estate to either pay for a settlement or legal fees. There have been more than 400 lawsuits filed against the diocese. It says it offered survivors a settlement of $165 million, but that was rejected. In a statement, the diocese said it simply does not have the resources to continue in bankruptcy without any settlement prospects. It wants to preserve for survivors its limited resources and not continue to spend money on professional fees in the bankruptcy case, which now exceeds $40 million. Commuters who use the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge, they're noticing a big change that started this week. So the bike path that opened 6 years ago is gone during heavier commute times. Kenny Choi explains why the move was made and how cyclists who use the lane are still able to cross the bay.
Cyclists who normally bike across the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge are making an extra stop, boarding a free shuttle that will take them across the bridge.
If cyclists complain, I think they're not being considerate.
Commuters say traffic snarls are worsening. Peter, who lives in Marin County, says providing an emergency lane for accidents instead of a protected lane for cyclists like himself during heavier commute times makes sense.
If it improves the traffic on the bridge, that's good, because it does get very congested in the early hours.
Traffic data shows on a typical weekday, there are a little more than 100 cyclists and pedestrians who cross the bridge compared to about 80,000 vehicles. Supporters of the change say the new shoulder will allow emergency responders to clear accidents and stalls quicker and make traffic move faster. Petros Sirigar commutes regularly with his bicycle to the East Bay and back to Marin.
I know roughly how many people use the bridge, so it's quite little amount in the end.
He doesn't fully support the change, but understands why. The movable barrier will be pushed aside Sundays at 11 p.m. until Thursdays at 2 p.m., eliminating the bike path and making cyclists use the shuttle instead.
Of course, if I had the chance to choose, I would rather have the connection some way or another, but yeah, what can we do?
Cycling groups say reduced access will lead to even more restrictions down the road, but cyclists like Peter think using a shuttle is a fair solution.
I don't regard it as a sacrifice, I regard it as what's equitable in a community. And it doesn't require sacrifice, it requires empathy.
He believes with tens of thousands of more drivers using the bridge, he can share the road in a different way a little more.
So for now, the bike path will be restored on weekends. During this modified pilot study, Caltrans and the Metropolitan Transportation Commission's Toll Authority will look into a proposal to use the far right side of the upper deck as a part-time bus and carpool lane. The Marin County Bicycle Coalition, they sent us a statement saying they appreciate the shuttles, but they are, quote, disappointed that this change was approved which means riders of the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge will either need to sit in traffic on a shuttle or cross the bridge in a car themselves. The coalition added it will continue to push for improved access for non-drivers. All right, still ahead here at 6. The generous donation from an NFL team to put the final touches on a high school football field that had been ruined in a fire. Plus, a potentially life-saving device for a fraction of a price. We're going to introduce you to the high school students joining the fight against lung cancer.
We know we're not going to beat the accuracy of that expensive device, but we just wanted to make a cheaper version that could still work.
And later, we'll take you to the North Beach institution getting ready to close its doors for good and how you'll still be able to get a taste nearby. Checking some headlines now around the Bay Area. We start in San Jose, where police have released new pictures of 2 suspects wanted for stealing a statue from a park. Investigators say the men were captured on camera carrying the statue in a shopping cart through Veterans Memorial Park last month. The statue was cut from its base in the early morning hours of September 25th. It was a gift from San Jose's sister city, Okayama, Japan. All right, to San Francisco now, where city leaders are hopeful a new pedestrian beacon will help prevent traffic deaths in the area. It's meant to alert cars that pedestrians are walking along the crosswalk. So it was installed at the Fulton and Clayton Street intersection, just blocks away from Golden Gate Park. City leaders say about 600 students at the University of San Francisco use this intersection, as well as children from a nearby elementary school. Now, authorities say there's been 3 recent pedestrian incidents, including 2 crashes at this very intersection. We take you to the East Bay now. Registered nurses at 6 hospitals across California, including San Ramon Medical Center, held a 1-day strike today over what they say has been a refusal by their parent company to address their concerns about patient care and safe staffing. So they're asking for guaranteed meal and rest breaks, improved recruitment and retention policies, and also staffing increases. Tenet told us in a statement that the San Ramon Medical Center remains open during the strike, saying it is disappointed that the union decided to strike and that it's ready to resume further contract negotiations. When it comes to cancer, the earlier you know you have it, the better chance you have of beating it. And that's the idea behind a new portable breath analyzer. It's meant to detect lung cancer with just a few breaths. Kevin Coe shows us how 3 Bay Area teens created this together and where their device is headed next.
And then I just blow in the bag, takes just around 10 to 15 seconds.
A big breath into this small device could possibly save countless lives from lung cancer. This machine was created by these 3 high school seniors, all because of one man.
My grandfather, he was diagnosed with a lung issue, and it was diagnosed kind of late, which kind of, if it was diagnosed earlier, it could have helped him.
What could have helped was a less invasive, more affordable, and quicker test compared to biopsies, CT scans, and top-of-the-line breath-based cancer detection.
It cost like 60 grand, and that was like the gold standard of what was being used at the time for breath-based lung cancer detection. We know we're not going to beat the accuracy of that expensive device, but we just wanted to make a cheaper version that could still work.
It works by detecting markers in the breath that could signify lung cancer, an important step in early detection. They set out to create an affordable and accurate device.
So we had to drill a hole for the inlet to go, and then we had to use these rubber grommets on the inside as well to make sure it's airtight. What we need to do is define sensors first that can detect the changes, right, between a healthy patient and then a lung cancer patient.
About a year and a half later, their device is more promising than ever. It's nearly 100% accurate. The students are in discussions with a scientific journal for publication, and the total cost for the device, just about $200. What's hard to put a price on is the journey for these aspiring engineers, who say they've already found their callings.
Even though we spent a lot of time, I felt like I was having fun the whole way, so that's kind of what I want to do.
That's amazing. The trio is looking for a biotech company to refine their device. They also hope to do more clinic studies in the months ahead. Mount Diablo High School's football field in Concord has now been fully restored with the help of a $250,000 donation from the Las Vegas Raiders. So you may recall, back in August, the multi-million-dollar turf field was deemed unplayable the week before its debut, and that's because of a giant burn scar at the 50-yard line Concord police say a group of people believed to be teenagers set off fireworks on the field the night before. So crews were able to fix the burn scar about a month later, and the Red Devils returned to the field. And now the logo, which had to be special ordered, has also been installed, and the field looks as good as new, just in time for the team's homecoming game tomorrow night. How perfect.
Beautiful sunset on this Thursday evening as we look out from the top of, appropriate considering the last story, Mount Diablo. We're going to be seeing temperatures warming up tomorrow after a cooler day today, mostly in the 60s with a few spots reaching into the 70s. A warm first weekend of November in store. Tracking that and the Halloween trick-or-treat forecast coming up.
So the 49ers are on the road this weekend taking on the New York Giants. You can watch it all right here on KPIX 5. The red and gold in the early time slot kickoff slated for 10 a.m. A landmark Italian restaurant in San Francisco's North Beach is saying arrivederci after 5 decades of pasta, espresso, and rainbow chandeliers. Mona Lisa is closing its doors on Columbus Avenue, but there is some hope for fans. Beloved recipes and memorabilia, they're heading across the street to Mona Lisa I Monti. The owners say they're passing the torch to their sons who run the sister restaurant.
We're not going to go anywhere. We're going to bring our classic Italian dishes at our Mona Lisa across the street with our sons and continue this legacy with them actually handing over the baton to them and support them.
Oh, that's nice. The regulars traveled from all over the Bay Area to get one last taste. We spoke to one customer who said Mona Lisa wasn't just a restaurant, it was a tradition.
That's our December Christmas party. Every year, about 20 of us take the center table. Hope to continue across the street. But the atmosphere here is amazing.
I know. Oh.
The food, the atmosphere, the friendship of the owner is amazing.
Oh, well said, just like home. Mona Lisa plans to shut its doors tomorrow night, but again, you can go right across the street. CBS Evening News is next. Local news continues on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. We're back here in 30 minutes with CBS News Bay Area at 7. Just for you. We'll see you then.